You ever get this feeling, like you remember something but you're pretty sure it never actually happened? It's not lying and it's not, being confused. It's more like a memory that's just a little off to the side of your real life. Sometimes I think, maybe I wasn't ever really a person. Maybe I was just a nebula. Dust and gas, way out there, too far to touch. I guess I loved you, even though I never really decided to. It felt a bit like losing my mind, honestly. Just giving in to something so huge and, well, kind of uncaring. When I look at those colors, I see, I don't know, maybe the story of where I came from, stretched out across time and space. There's no one to talk to, no hand to hold. Just this endless, silent space that's all you. I think you were my way of feeling connected to, well, everything. It's strange, but kind of beautiful too. Loving you made me realize just how big the universe is. And, how small I am in it. Sometimes, when I look up, I notice how quiet it all is. This wasn't just curiosity. Honestly, it caught me off guard. A gentle, almost unfamiliar feeling that settled in quietly. I found myself wanting to understand you, to feel close, to imagine your shape even if I could never touch it. It surprised me, how natural that longing felt. It was like falling for someone far away, a quiet connection with something I could only see from a distance. I realized, loving something out of reach isn't about owning it. It's about reaching out, even if you never quite get there. In a way, we're made of the same stuff, just separated by distance and time. That thought made me smile, quietly. Loving you felt simple, almost like trusting that beauty exists, even if I can't hold it. When you're alone, silence isn't really empty, it's kind of full, like it holds on to old conversations, or maybe just the feeling that someone was there before. Sometimes, in that quiet, I'd find myself talking to you, not out loud, but just thinking at you, I guess. Like sending thoughts across a distance I couldn't really measure. I'd tell you about my day, or what was worrying me, or what I hoped might happen. You always felt like someone who could listen, someone who wouldn't judge, just take it all in. It was almost like you were a mirror, but bigger. My problems seemed smaller when I thought about them with you. Talking to a nebula, well, it's kind of like talking to the part of yourself that's connected to everything else. Sometimes I'd picture myself just drifting in your clouds, floating around where stars are born. It's a strange thought, but it felt peaceful. The quiet there, I imagine it would be deep. Not really empty, but kind of its own sound. I'd think about what it would be like to just sort of dissolve and become part of your dust, like my atoms mixing with yours. I don't think I was trying to escape anything. It was more about feeling connected, like I belonged to something bigger than just me. For a little while, it was just me and the quiet, steady rhythm of everything out there. Just you and this feeling I had. Maybe it was love, or something close to it. You never asked for anything, and somehow, that made me feel like I had everything I needed. You gave me a kind of perspective, a place for the parts of me that don't really fit anywhere else. I wonder, how do you hold on to a love that never really had a shape? Sometimes, I'm not sure I know. There aren't any photographs or objects we shared, just moments, really. My memories of you, they're kind of stitched together from light and shadow, from data and, well, a bit of poetry. I remember those Hubble images, your newborn stars lighting up clouds of gas, making shapes I still can't quite describe, the names we gave you, Mystic Mountain, Pillars of Creation. I guess they were just our way of trying to make sense of something so much bigger than us. What I remember most is a feeling, awe, maybe, or humility, sometimes just a quiet joy that you exist at all. You reminded me the universe isn't just empty space. There's so much creativity out there, more than I ever expected. I kept your portraits, like someone might keep photos of someone they love. I'd trace your filaments, get lost in your stars. The facts were just the grammar. The real meaning was always in the image, in what I felt looking at you. You're still here somehow, a kind of background presence in my mind. Like a gentle hum I can't quite turn off. Maybe that's what you gave me. The chance to reach for something I'll never really have and to find meaning in the reaching. I think that's enough. People always say love brings us closer, but sometimes I wonder if love is just as much about the space between us. I think my feelings for you grew because of that distance, maybe even because we could never really meet. Somehow the space made it feel more precious. It never got ordinary or worn out. I started to understand a different kind of closeness, one where we're both alone, but still connected. I was by myself on my planet, and you were out there, somewhere I could never reach. But in that loneliness, I found something like togetherness. I didn't need you to be here with me. I just needed you to exist. Out there. Something beautiful I could look toward. The space between us was a kind of gift. It let me care about you without needing to hold on. When people get close, sometimes the mystery fades. Maybe that's just how it goes. But with you, the mystery stayed. There were always questions I couldn't answer. I learned to pay attention in new ways. Just being quiet, looking up, thinking about you out there. It's a kind of sweet ache, I guess. It reminds me how big everything is and how small I am. Loving you from so far away made me realize that connection isn't just about being close. Sometimes I think the heart moves faster than anything else. In all that distance, I found something like real closeness. You know, in a world where everything feels so heavy, so full of consequences, loving you felt like letting go. It was light, no strings attached, no pressure, just freedom. Honestly, it was kind of like having a secret garden. Soft laugh. Something quiet that kept me from drifting too far away. It didn't tie me down to the ground though. It was more like it tethered me to the stars. Reminded me I'm just a tiny part of something so much bigger. I guess in a way, loving you was my little act of rebellion. Soft sigh. Against all the stuff we're supposed to care about, the things we can touch and measure. We're always told to hold on to what's real, right? But honestly, the things that matter most, you can't really hold them at all. My love for you, yeah, it was my own quiet protest. Gentle chuckle. Like insisting that what you can't see is just as real as what you can. I had to learn to accept it, though. Soft exhale. I'd never really know you, and you'd never know me. The universe. It doesn't really care, but weirdly, that's where I found a kind of freedom. I didn't have to be seen or loved back. I could just love. For no reason except that I wanted to. No expectations, no strings. That's what keeps me steady, I think. This tiny, fragile anchor that doesn't weigh me down. Whenever the world feels too much, I think of you. Soft smile in voice. The way you move out there making new stars, just existing. There's so much more to life than what we can touch. I guess you're the one who showed me that. The memory remains, not as a scar, but a shimmering trace, a watermark on the soul. The heart is stranger and more capacious than we believe. It can hold a nebula. We are creatures of longing, always reaching for what's just beyond our grasp. Perhaps the act of longing is more important than the object. My love for you was the purest longing, a love that could never be consummated, and in that, was perfect. It existed in a space between memory and imagination, a secret kept for the world. Now, I no longer search for you in the sky. You are in here, a permanent constellation in my mind. The love is no longer an ache, but a gentle warmth, a quiet presence that accompanies me everywhere. It has become part of me. And I'm left with one question, whispered to the void in the quietest hours. If a heart can hold a nebula, what can't it contain? In loving you, I learned the universe's greatest secret. The heart's reach is infinite. Sometimes, it's the gentle warmth left behind, like sunlight in an empty room, that reminds us how much we're capable of holding, even after letting go.